Vendors in the Bukoto vendors market began rioting after disputes and fights after persons who claimed to be landlords were on their necks demanding rent payment. President Museveni invested 900 million shillings in the vendor market to safeguard land and the market, allowing vendors to operate in a favorable environment with no obstacles.
President Museveni
President gave a directive that no landlord should evict tenants from the house, and they told us not to pay them. And if you wish to pay them, you pay them on your own, and we are not paying them till now.
We need to be clarified, and KCCA does not help us, and now they are not here. They were making us to pay money for lockups.
Markets in Kampala were told not to pay rent for landlords. Since COVID-19 situation, but now landlord is on our neck, we need clarity. If it means to pay them, we shall do it. The DPC requested them to calm down as the authority promising the angry traders a statement from the KCCA in advance with the matter.
So I don't expect people to fight. There is no reason for you to start breaking doors and destroying food here.
In an interview with the manager Commercial Services Kampala Capital City, Henry Bukenya reveals that Bukoto Market was bought from the church owner by President under KCCA to manage it. Therefore, no one should claim to be a landlord.
It comes to the first directive of 2008, April. There are markets which were given the opportunity to redevelop and run their own affairs. Markets like Nakasero, markets like Bugorobi, Nakawa, name them. But for Bukoto, initially it was operating as a private market. And they were renting from church because it was the church that was owning that land. And vendors tried to mobilize funds to ensure that they redevelop that market. And that was supposed to be on purely private basis. However, along the way, they failed to raise the required funds because I think church needed about 900 million to sell that land to the market vendors then. And they failed. So they cried to the president. And then the president responded positively, and we want really to give thanks to His Excellency. It is very true. There are those who claim to have bought. Now, if there is anything like buying, it only implies that they might have bought from the landowner then who was a church. Now, the question is, if they had bought land or bibanja, if I can say so, from the church, at the time of church selling to government, that's when they would have gone to the church and asked for their share. Because if they had bought, then they were supposed to have gotten their share from the church now, which was selling and selling the title as well. If that was not done, then I'm not seeing any claim for ownership.
Bukenya also says there is need for guidance from the Attorney General for those who still claim ownership of the land or claim of not being compensated for the land after the President's 900 million purchase.
There is no compensation that has been done. But again, we need to know, first of all, is there a genuine claim of ownership? We need to be guided by the Attorney General. If it is there, then we can enter into the other phase of compensating. You cannot just compensate. You need to know who, if there is any compensation to be done, who should be compensated. Because compensation starts with ascertaining that actually there is a bit of ownership. That is what we need to ascertain first. If we ascertain that actually there is ownership, then we can enter into issues to do with the compensation.
In the next few days, Kampala Capital City Authority is expected to send individuals to the market to see whether there are those who claim ownership of the land and see the way forward of the affected persons. Samuel Chirumunda compiled this story.